Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Honest the Pod with me, Ashley McAllister.
And me, Matthew Ali.
And yeah, this is episode 46.
Yay! The age that we would start having grandchildren?
I'll never have grandkids.
Really?
No.
Why?
I just don't have any love to give anyone.
Are you not going to have children?
I love myself too much.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I thought you was going to have children for some reason.
I always wanted kids, and I am joking, I would love to have kids.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I can't wait to have kids. But yeah.
I'm really undecided.
Do you know what? I need somebody to clean up my shit when I'm old enough. Too old to
Clean up your shit.
clean up my shit. You know what I mean?
I feel like I'd be able to pay someone to do that, or they'd be like nursing and stuff.
Well, why pay someone when you have kids to do it for free?
Well, they've got to live their lives.
Yeah, after I have a clean asshole.
Okay. You'll never have a clean asshole.
Yeah.
I thought I always grew up thinking that I would have kids, and then I went on a holiday with like a bunch of kids, and I was just like, they were up at like 6:30 in the morning, playing the piano, like banging it, you know, and screaming and stuff, and I'm trying to sleep. And then I saw how like the parents were getting really stressed while on holiday with them, and I was like, I think this has changed my mind completely on wanting to have children. And now I'm coming back to the idea, it's actually really good because, you know, I'm getting a bit older now where I'm like, oh, going out is not like the be all and end all, and, you know, I could look after something, but I don't know.
Look after something.
Yeah.
Try a plant first. Do you have any plants in your house?
I do not have any
see any plants.
No, if you see the garden, we're in just our back living room, and this is the care that we take.
It's very rustic.
Yeah. I cleaned up once, but I don't want to be the only person cleaning it up, and then I was a bit like, well, that's that.
If you don't use it, do you know what I mean? It's coming into winter.
Yeah, well, we didn't use it in the summer, to be honest, either. So we had like one party, and that was it. Yeah. But maybe like a cat.
Not a cat.
Well, cats are good because you don't really need to look after them too much. Dogs are a bit too much effort. Do you not think?
Yeah. Well, I was at a dinner party last night, and it seems that all gays our age talk about, not in all gays, I'll say couples, gay couples.
Talk about kids.
All they talk about is their dogs.
Oh.
And they talk about houses, house prices, what they're doing to the house, where they plan to move, whether they're buying a second home, whether they plan to do an extension. I hear it all.
Were you the only single one there?
To be fair, actually, there's another single person there, but he was also in the house chat.
So you obviously, I was going to say, you obviously hooked up with him.
Obviously. No, I didn't hook up with him.
You just kissed him?
Didn't do anything.
Lies!
Matt, look, this is not you we're talking about. I don't have an insatiable need to just pull somebody on every night out.
When have I done that?
Every night out.
No.
Well, you try.
Not anymore.
Not
anymore because I've failed. Yes, I tried and failed. Thank you very much. But not anymore. Now I have, without booze in my life, although...
Were you drinking last night?
I had a beer and I had a whiskey. This is over from like 4 o'clock till 2 in the morning.
That's so sophisticated.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well, I haven't been really drinking that much.
Yeah.
I think so. So, like, even if I go on a night out, and I've still been going out, just having, like, mostly soda water and lime, and then I'll have maybe a glass of wine or something.
That's very cool. I was completely smashed. I think I must have had 2.5 bottles of wine, or maybe 2 bottles. I don't know. Last night, I was I was not in a good state at 2 o'clock. I have to this morning as I crawled home.
Did you get a cab?
No, I walked. It was only a 10-minute walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got a cab. There's a bar just like 10 minutes around that down the road, but I couldn't. I was so drunk before. This was a while ago. I could not think about how to get home, and I had to get a cab, and they were like, "No, it's literally just down the road." And I was like, "Just take me home, And then it was like it was a 10-minute walk, and I was like, "Yeah."
This was only literally one straight road as well. Like it was such an easy walk.
Bad.
Yeah. But then also the night before, I was at a birthday party, and all the talk was house talk and dog talk.
Was the house party was the birthday party at a house?
No, but this was at a pub.
And they were still talking about the same things?
Different people.
Yeah.
But yeah, couples seem to talk about... So if you want to get in a relationship, you'll definitely get a dog. And then talk about how much you want to buy a house, or what you're doing to a house, or where you want to move.
Oh my God, I'm so far away from that, it's not even funny.
I'm so far away from this too, but I felt... I was the youngest in the room.
Okay.
And I was just...
That's crazy. That's a good feeling.
Yeah,
considering your age, that's a good feeling.
Given that I'm 34, yeah. Which, At one point, Dr. Lee Valls, who is the person who hosted
Oh my
the
god,
party,
shout out.
he doesn't listen to podcasts. I had to subscribe, and he's like, "But I don't know what to do," and I'm like, "Just press play." And he's just like, "Oh." Anyway, Dr. Lee Valls, he was saying, "God, when's your 40th? I can't believe I'm 40." I'm like, "Oh, my 40th isn't for another 6 years," and he's just like, "Shut up, get out."
Oh my goodness.
And I'm like, "It's not even." Like, I literally have just turned 34, so it's like a full 6 years away.
Shit, that's deep.
Yeah. But hey ho. But yeah, they had a birthday party the night before, which was good. Ben, my ex, was there.
It's the first time you've seen him since you've been in London.
It has, yeah. We've seen each other loads of times since we've broken up.
Yeah.
We've broken up 6 years ago. But
We still keep going on about it.
But no, what was remarkable about this time was like his current boyfriend's there.
New boyfriend.
Boyfriend. His
5.5 years.
Yeah, the 5.5 year new boyfriend. He was there, and we actually spent time talking for the first time, where I wasn't a crying mess. When we first met, which I think is the only time we've ever met, I think. It was like not long after we broke up. And I was like, I was drunk, I was a mess, I was crying on the street. But we had a really good chat, and but everybody kept introducing me as Ben's ex. Like, this is Ben's ex.
Yeah.
And then at one point, I think it was like the third or fourth time, both Aaron, who's the name of Ben's new boyfriend, or current boyfriend, I should say.
Ben's boyfriend, yeah.
Ben's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Him and I both were like, "You can't just introduce me as Ashley. Like, it's my name." And then yeah, so that was that.
That is a thing, like, because I know, like, even I'm friends with Adam, and I don't say to people, and it's like a conscious decision, and sometimes I have to stop myself being like, "Oh, my ex Adam," because I didn't see it that's not our relationship now. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that was, once we'd broken up, that was like our identity or whatever it was, because we were separated or whatever. But now he's definitely my friend. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I'm always like, "Oh, my friend Adam," and it is a change though that you have to, I guess, sort of have.
It is, but label, cause this comes under labels, and a lot of people are like, "Why do you put a label on things?" And I'm one that thinks labels. I think labels are really important. Well,
In everything,
yeah. Well, relationship building, I think, yeah, definitely.
I think for some people, not always. But that's what I mean. Actually,
Yeah.
I think it's important for some people and in some situations. But I also don't think that everyone needs to define themselves if they don't want to.
No, but for me, it's
Yeah.
I would say, I'm the label king. Like, if I'm in a relationship, if we're like, say this, for example, in this crazy world that you and I were dating, we're not, but hypothetically, let's say we were.
Do not date 40-year-olds.
Yeah. You can start calling me daddy.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can.
Hypothetically, if we were out and we were dating, you introduced me as your friend. Oh, this is my friend Ash. I'd be like, hold on a minute. Do you take all your friends' penises in your mouth?
If we hadn't already had a conversation that we were in a relationship, but we were like seeing each other, is that what you mean? What about the absence of it? Because I would never do that. I'm not stupid enough to say my friend Ash. I'd be like, "Oh, this is Ashley. This is," I would just literally say, "This is Ashley." Would you be like, "What does that mean?"
No, I wouldn't.
Who am I to this person?
No, I wouldn't, because I would then think, in my head, I'd think, you've obviously withheld it for some reason.
But we're not in a relationship. In fact, say if we've never defined our relationship between ourselves, then why would I define it?
Oh, in the scenario, I was
behalf?
saying we were dating. So
would I say this is actually the guy I'm dating?
Oh,
and dating's quite American. I don't think that's like an English thing or a British thing even.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's an Irish thing.
Dating?
But
what do you mean?
I wouldn't say I don't date. I wouldn't know what dating is if I was dating someone. Because I think like Americans actually say it for entire relationships. They say I was dating someone for 4 years, and to me, like, dating is like the initial part of like a relationship before you become like a couple, right? So if you're a couple, you're not dating someone, you're in a relationship. Dating is before you kind of define what you're doing, but you're seeing each other beyond like a friendship basis.
Yeah.
So I would say like, so there's someone that I'm seeing at the moment who I really like. Obviously, like I've said, like I've been enjoying myself at the moment, but some of them I wouldn't even say I'm dating but it is, more sexual than a friendship.
Yeah.
but then there's someone that I'm dating because I like them and we're going on dates and there's
let's flash back to last week whenever I was saying that to me dating isn't just meeting people, because that's, to me, is not a date. A date is going on a date. But if you're spending time with somebody, that's not a date. For me, when I'm saying I'm dating somebody, is whenever you're right, it's the phase of before a relationship. But that doesn't mean that every single person you date is going to develop into a relationship. So if I'm dating, for example, 2-3 people at once, which I could never do because my one-track mind would get too confused, I would be saying, oh yeah, we dated for a couple of months. Didn't work out.
Yeah.
But we weren't officially a couple.
Yeah.
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 Or, we've dated on and off. It might be, we hooked up a couple of times, we hung out, we did stuff. We then sort of went on, but then we met up again a couple of months later. Again, we've never developed into a relationship, but yeah, so dating on and off, dating is a label, and that's why it's important to define what it is.
I mean, it's not important, it's not crucial, but yeah. Anyway.
Well, if you want to,
I think because like I've watching like TV shows and stuff, like dating for Americans is very much what they call like a relationship, and I think that's weird. To be honest, I did have my first crazy this week though.
Okay. Oh, crazy partner?
Nah, like an instant with like a guy who's crazy.
I love this. Tell me.
It's not that deep. It's not that deep. It's just that it never really happens to me, and especially because one of my housemates, he seems to attract all the crazies. And people always attract the crazies. I'm like, this is a red flag against you, because he'd be sending us like messages in our group WhatsApp, being like, "Oh, another one, did this, that, and the other." And I'm like, how are you constantly getting these people that are mental?
Yeah.
But I swear it must be the majority of this year, right? There was someone that I must have matched with on Tinder or something, and we chatted. We've been chatting on and off for the past couple of months because, like, I'll say let's do something, and then somehow it just doesn't happen. And he's a bit of a faff, where like I'm not one for chatting endlessly all the time. I'd like to see you in person. And then when it gets, when you book a date, you'll be like, okay, let's go and see each other on Wednesday.
Yeah.
And Wednesday comes and there's no message or something. And you're like, well, I know I'm supposed to see you today. We both agreed on that. Maybe we didn't say a time, but I messaged you on the day being like, what are we doing? And then there's no answer.
Yeah.
And that was going on for quite a while. So I was like, whatever, I'm not even going to bother. And then he got into a habit of like texting me every now and again, being like, oh, hey, how are you? Want to do something? And then a couple of times I was like, okay, but yeah, it's been a bit weird, like, since we haven't spoken. Then he did the same thing on Friday. We hadn't spoken for a couple of weeks or months, or I don't know how long. I'm not interested now because like I'm already like it's been going on for like most of this year or whatever. And then he messaged me being like, oh, do you want to do, hey, how's everything? I didn't respond. He was like, is everything okay? I didn't respond. And this is bearing in mind, like, he messaged me at like 1 a.m, and then at like 8 the next day. And then about half an hour later, 20 minutes later, he messaged me being like, oh, I'm so sorry to bother you. I just wanted to see if you were around. Never mind. And I'd said like, oh, just, I think it's polite. And I think we may have said this before. Like, if someone messages me, I try not to just ghost. I'll just tell you that I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a polite thing to do. So even on like apps and stuff, if I'm not interested in you, for the most part, if someone messages, not so much like taps or whatever, but if someone messages, I'd like to just say, oh, I appreciate the compliment, but I'm not interested. Yeah, instead of just ghosting. I always found that really strange.
Yeah.
And then he messaged, and I was like, oh, actually, we've been going on this for a while. I'm not really interested in like doing anything with you. And he goes, not even for a drink. And then I wrote, no, not even for a drink. Like, we've been talking for a couple of months, but it just seems a little bit more difficult than it needs to be. So let's just call it quits. And then he was like, well, why? And I was like, and then I wrote, I'm just trying to be polite. I'm trying to be nice by telling you that I'm not interested. So why don't we just leave it there? Maybe it was a bit firm or stern, but I thought it was the right thing to do. And then he was like, he wrote, ha, you're crazy. And then wrote weirdo in like capital letters. And I was like, well, I'm not going to bother. Yeah. Then he blocked me on WhatsApp. And I was like, okay, fine. So I just blocked him on WhatsApp. Then he sent me a text message being like, well, if you got some other dick that you want to go on, that's fine. I don't even want to see you anyway. And I'm like, hold on a second. We've not even had a conversation.
What age is this guy, do you know?
He was like 22, 23.
Yeah.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
And then he messaged me on Tinder.
I'm going to stop texting you so soon, and then I'm going to text you on this.
Yeah, because I blocked him on WhatsApp, so he must have done it. Then he sent me a text message. I didn't respond. And then he sent me a message on Tinder, and then he deleted that, and then he deleted Tinder. And I was like, I was like, wait.
I want to let you know on every single platform I know you on that I'm not going to speak to you anymore.
It's not even that deep. We never met in person. You never sent any dick pics. Like
22, 23. It says it all.
Like, it was like, yeah, you're crazy.
There's a lot of learning to do. God love
Yeah.
you. Good luck in the future.
Interesting.
Good luck, buddy.
That's my first that I can really remember of like a crazy. Like normally it's been quite like amicable with people that like,
Yeah.
hasn't really, the interest isn't really there anymore. So I was quite excited about that.
Yeah, it is like you're right. I think it's polite to say I'm not into you. I think I have a standard line which is, "Oh, thanks for the compliment, just not my type."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't say type because I don't want to. Although I probably do have a type, but I don't want to say that I have a type because I want to try and be as open as possible. I can certain things, but I do say you're not what I'm looking for at this moment or something like that.
Yeah.
Very businesslike.
Yeah.
You weren't successful at this time. Apply later.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think there's times where I see a picture on, and that's why I don't care very much for apps, because you see a picture or you see a profile and you just get such a two-dimensional opinion of them. And there's people who's messaged me and I've been like, "Oh, thanks, but no." And then I see them out and I'm like, "Oh my god, they're so hot."
I don't think that's ever happened.
And that's happened to me 2 or 3 times.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it's because the way somebody carries themselves in real life can say a lot.
Yeah. And
it could be, and it depends what you find attractive. Like I find demeanor quite attractive, like the way somebody holds themselves and the way they carry themselves about. So I've seen somebody who I instantly thought, you don't look like my type at all, based on what they've selected as their best persona to put on a profile. But in real life, they were, because I don't like very kept guys. In real
like
life,
eyebrows and stuff, then you don't like?
No. Except for yourself, obviously.
I don't get my eyebrows done because I don't have any.
Oh, yeah.
And then the end's just there. Like, yeah.
But
I did do my beard today, my little face.
Oh.
I bought some face mask stuff.
Oh.
But I like to be well kept.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just,
I like to file my nails every now and again.
Yeah, I filed mine last week.
Just because, in TV, it's really nice just to do while you're there. Like,
Yeah. I just cut them and then thought, shit, I cut my finger, so I'll just soften it or flatten it down a bit.
You come up with an excuse as to why you like to file your nails?
I don't like to. I find it really boring.
Oh, I enjoy it.
No.
Just there, like watching TV. I'm just like, I don't know, there's something about it.
But anyway, yeah. So they'd be kept on the profile, and then in real life they look a bit more rugged. I'm like, oh god, I'm moist.
I'm always the opposite, like because I understand that the pictures don't necessarily give like the best for most people the right look. It doesn't give you everything. So if I find something appealing about someone's picture, but I know there's other parts that don't, I'm willing to give it a chance because I think in person you're quite different. But then it can go the opposite way as well, isn't it? Because people try to put like really good pictures out there, then you go in person, and then you're like, oh wow, you are not what I thought you were. I guess. Yeah,
that's why I always think it's nice to meet in real life before you commit to going on spending more time with them than you want to. Because it can go either way. You can meet somebody who seems pretty fine, and then all of a sudden they turn cray-cray in real life.
Yeah.
And you're there stuck in a museum or wherever your first date is.
A museum?
I don't know why that came.
Oh my goodness, no.
I went on, I won't say it in case I use the same date again, but I took somebody for a really great date. And to me it was the perfect date. I won't say it in case I use the same tactics for somebody else who might be listening right now, because you never know where your future husband might be. So, was there anything else you want to talk about this week? Any more dealings of crazies or?
No, it's been a pretty good week overall, I guess. I saw my mum this week. I think my dog is about to die. But, yeah, but...
I put my foot in it last night at this dinner party.
In the dog?
No, my foot in the dog. They're all talking about dogs. And then all of a sudden I asked from these other couples, oh, do you not have a dog? Thinking, of course they do. Their dog had died like a few months before that in the most horrific death. And I then had to listen to the story. And it's sad, but for somebody, yeah. Basically, they put the dog with a dog walker. And the dog walker had put the dog in the back of the car.
Stop it.
Yeah. And the dog jumped.
Oh my goodness. Why are you laughing? No.
The dog jumped out the window.
The back window was open?
Apparently, the left of the dog walker, the dog was in the back of the car, and the dog jumped out the back window. And so the back window, apparently, the claim was, well, why wasn't the dog secure in the back of the car? Why was the window open?
She's a dog walker, a professional dog walker.
He,
pardon me.
Yeah.
Only women can walk dogs.
You better watch.
I don't know if I did that. They.
The argument is that the dog magically opened the window itself and then jumped out. But the poor dog fell on the road, broke its spine, was paralysed from the neck down, and then they had to get it put down.
Oh my goodness.
This is a puppy, a little bulldog, I think it was bulldog. And anyway, I put my foot in, and this poor guy had to tell me this story that he's going through, and there was this legal thing going on at the minute.
Definitely.
And I'm just like, oh my god.
You can stop laughing.
I didn't laugh.
You're laughing. Okay.
I don't know. I'm sort of one of those people who respond to horror with laughing.
Awkward laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super. I find it. I don't think. I always get confused which is empathy or sympathy, but I'm not always super sympathetic naturally unless I find it. So in that situation, I'd be like, oh. Where's the bread? Did you say there was dessert? Like,
That was me last
More
night.
wine, please. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why I got through 2.5 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
These dog
Such a
stories.
sad story. I just need to get drunk.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Guys, did you know a good way to support the podcast is by sharing it? So all you have to do is take a wee screenshot, put it on your social feeds, saying, "Hey everyone, I listened to this really cool podcast with Matt and Ash, and it would be really good if you listen to it." Because that way you're recommending it, and then just make sure you tag us in it as well, and then we can give you a shout out. We have a topic to talk about today.
Yes, we do. And it's finally kind of about Northern Ireland. I know we've been waiting for like 6 or 7 episodes to talk about something Northern Irish.
So this is episode 46, and we've been waiting 45 episodes. to talk
No,
about
it's been quite a few.
Yeah.
But it's not really, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's about, well, I wanted to talk about, because we both saw it, I think. Well, I saw it on Twitter. And it'll be probably one of the only times that we'll like really support or congratulate Piers Morgan for his work from Good Morning Britain. Oh my goodness, Good Morning Britain. Because
You say Great British Bake Off for you.
And you haven't even watched that yet. That's
No.
crazy. The guy. No, I'm not going to say who went. I'm not even going to bother. Sorry. I was just going to say he's just really fit, but yeah.
Who?
Anyway.
In Great British Bake Off?
Yeah.
Who? You can tell. Like, I'll watch it tonight when I go home, but I really don't care about spoilers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because we went to see it. So there's a young guy called Jamie who's 20 years old, the blonde one with the blue eyes.
Does he get put out?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
identical.
He's so terrible.
He's so
bad. I don't know how he got on the show.
Well, I watched him cook his biscuits, the first set of biscuits, and then I had to leave because my sister called. And I was just like, mate, if you don't go home this week. But then the only sad thing is you're not going to see him and his identical twin brother.
So I went to see the extra slice of the extra show being recorded, and his brother isn't as fit as him.
They're identical.
They're not. Yeah, they don't look that similar.
Like you and your brother.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean,
and he's not fit.
He's definitely.
He's cute, but he's not fit.
He's like, honestly, every time I can see him, I was like, "Fuck me, you're really hot."
Then he laughs. He's got really.
Yeah. The guy. No. Yeah, really awkward. I thought, and when he cries at the end, he's like, "Oh, I've got to leave the house."
He's got nice eyes though.
Beautiful eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's lovely.
Anyway, not as nice as mine. But...
So, Strictly Come Dancing started yesterday, Saturday. Okay, I never watched Strictly, to be honest. I always wanted to.
Yeah. No, it's good. I like it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think because it was always on the same time as X Factor, and I was always such a big X Factor fan. It was on the same day that I just never really got into Strictly Come Dancing. Michelle Visage is on it from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah,
she said that she turned down like the US version, which is called Dancing with the Stars. Because she wanted to do the original, and so finally she's got on it.
Oh, I like Michelle likes us, doesn't she?
Yeah. Well, I think, I don't know why.
She's also one of the judges on Ireland's Got Talent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, great. And obviously we've got the UK RuPaul's Drag Race coming out now, and she was on Celebrity Big Brother here as well. Yeah. So I think she prefers it. But and
we love her. Do you not like Michelle Visage?
I don't like RuPaul or Michelle Visage that much anymore.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I used to listen to their podcast, What's the
Oh
Tea?
yeah.
And I just found them really unrelatable, really self-righteous, and
Yeah.
very arrogant.
Yeah.
And they used to talk about these things like, they'd be like, people, we try and be, well, I don't know, as relatable as possible, and you want to talk to your, people out there, and they'd be like, that time when this happens, and they'd be like, oh, it's really annoying when you're like having dinner on Rodeo Drive, and then this person comes up and just asks for an autograph while you're ordering your salad. It's just really, I just wanted to eat my, and no, that's not a normal thing that people go through,
No.
okay? And even then, you're in this position, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I don't actually, I like the show. I don't really care for them so much anymore.
Okay.
I like them as judges as well on the show.
Mm-hmm.
Them as people from the podcast.
Yeah.
And that's the latest series. RuPaul's got a little bit, I don't know, a little bit snappy. I'm rewatching like some of the seasons, and in this one, this is like the decline of RuPaul in season 9, where she starts being like just really, really mean. Anyways, back to Strictly Come Dancing has started, and then before they had this, like, they've been criticised and said they would never have same-sex couples on the show.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're saying that there's the potential, and they're very open to, and probably will have a same-sex dancing couples in 2020 for Strictly, which personally, obviously, as a homosexual, is a great idea. I think having people out there, not just in traditional gender stereotypes, is a great thing. And
I would love to dance with Ali Ash.
I don't know the different people on there. No. Do you watch it? Do you used to watch it with your mum and stuff?
Me and my gran used to watch it.
Okay.
And then when I moved like here, and X Factor really took over then. But there'd be times where I'd still watch it. Like I just find it more entertaining. I don't think it, because to me it's what X Factor and all those became was just who has the best sob story that's going to be more PRable. These people are celebrities put in circumstances where they're not, some of them aren't as trained in, so just seeing how they do. Not that I have any clue about dancing.
Yeah.
But it's just fun and different to watch. It's just mine. I always used to watch it on a Sunday morning hungover and just be like, oh, this is just brain dead TV.
Yeah, it's easy to watch, and I like the element of it where it is, some of these celebrity shows, it's just like, let's put celebrities in ridiculous situations and see how they cope.
Yeah.
Where they're actually learning stuff. They're really dedicated. A lot of them like lose weight. They do a lot of training for it. So it's got the element of reality TV show where you're actually training to do something that is impressive in some way.
So that's Ali Ash, one of the dancers.
100%.
He's so. No, that's his wife. Some of the outfits are questionable, but
yeah. No, I love that sort of shit.
Yeah, but he's
flashy. Yeah,
he's an
Just very Eastern European. I'm not gonna lie.
Well, his name's Ali Ash.
Yeah,
so he is. Yeah. But I actually met him in real life. I think he lives in Canada Water, and when I used to live in Canada Water, he was going around the escalators one morning when I was going to work, and it was the year where he was on it. Peter Crouch's wife. What do you call her?
I don't know, but she was on Britain's Next Top Model. What's her name?
Oh, Abby
Clancy.
Abby Clancy. She was on it with Ali Ash, and I was.
They did really well, didn't they?
They won, yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I was Team Abby, and I stopped and I said, "I'm such Team Abby." He's like, "Oh, thanks for watching." And he shook
Did you
my
say
hand.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, good. That's good.
Yeah. I lived with Matt and Stuart at the time, and Stuart was massive into dance.
Oh, because he's always there.
Anyway, we're so. This is our problem. Is we're like blah 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 blah. Sorry.
Okay. So
we'll get to the point.
They're gonna have same-sex couples, which would be great. And somehow it came up on Good Morning Britain with this D.U.P. Is he still in the D.U.P?
Yeah, Jim Wells.
Jim Wells. And he was just saying that he doesn't think it's a good idea to have same-sex couples on something like Strictly Come Dancing, because it kind of breaks against the traditions, and that children will sit with their parents and see these same-sex couples and get... and it's not good for them to see. And Piers Morgan and questioned him on it and saying, like, why does he think that they should have them? Because Piers has never really come out as like someone who's against homosexuality, has he?
No, you said at the start about one of the few times we'd probably say well done, Piers. There's quite a few times where I'm sitting on the fence and I'm like, actually, Piers has made a very good point.
You're quite conservative with tradition.
I'm more conservative than you are, I guess. But I would say Piers has been quite a good advocate for gay rights. I don't think he's ever said anything. He's not out there publicly shaming us, or I think there's some things where it comes to more of the T, less of the LGB, that he would not have a full liberal sense on.
And I find that with like people that I know, like because now more than the LGBT, even just MB, bisexuality isn't really, it's kind of glossed over in a lot of situations, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I think so. Even by gay people as well.
We should do an episode of bisexuality.
Yeah. Actually, we said that. Yeah. Thanks, Rash.
Yeah, thanks, Rash.
But yeah, now we're talking about trans and even beyond that, because I'm watching a show in America called Are You the One, which is like the American Love Island.
Okay.
And they're doing and I'll say that I don't mind the word queer, but I think we've spoken about that as well. Where they've got
this is good coffee, by the way. I'm going to have some more.
Yeah.
For the first time, Matt supplied beverages whilst I'm here recording.
Yeah, it's good coffee.
It's really good coffee.
We're talking about, another diversion, but I always buy like the bags on special offer, the ground ones, but I never remember which ones I like. So I was like, I should start ranking them, because someone was talking about a beer app that they have, which you can put your new beers that you try and rank them, and then it reminds you when you go and buy them and stuff. So I was thinking we could do a little app where we could rank our coffee, because I would really enjoy that.
Trademark. Nobody use that idea.
I get ground coffee all the time.
Yeah.
I always have my cafetiere every Saturday and Sunday.
We could call the app Grinder.
Grounder?
Grinder.
Very good, Grounder, yeah.
And you can match with different coffees from local areas.
If that's your favourite coffee, and then that's my favourite coffee, and we have the same favourite coffee, let's go for a beer.
Yeah.
That would suit you, isn't it, really? To be honest, you love going for a coffee. You love overusing that coffee date.
Yeah.
Not date, coffee meetup.
Interview.
Yeah, a coffee interview.
Let's stick to the point, because
This person so Jim Wells is someone who's Northern Irish and in the DUP and believes that it's not appropriate to have same-sex couples dancing. Now, this is not to say that the people that are dancing are homosexuals or in any way, shape or form. It's to say that you've got two men or two women dancing. And that's never been done before, except for the last year on the professionals did a number where they had same-sex couples dancing.
Yeah.
And apparently it was a hit, and the dance I saw was very, very beautiful. And obviously, I'm going to go out on women and say that you'd be happy to see two men or two women dancing together. Yeah.
Oh, don't make that assumption about me.
I will make that assumption. Tell me, how do you feel about same-sex couples dancing?
Do you know what? It doesn't bother me. I don't.
You're not even excited about it?
I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm excited about it, but I'm not going to sit and say don't let it happen. To me, there's no. It's the classic case of why are we even making a point of this? Like, if it happens, it should happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Well, not that I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm saying if it happens, let it happen. And if, like, for example, what I'm saying is if somebody wanted to come and dance with a same-sex partner, let them dance with whoever the fuck they want to dance with. I don't care that much. I care about other things that are happening. Like,
well, it'd definitely be like, I mean, I say newsworthy, but obviously it's like tabloid worthy is more than the right term. But
I'm not saying it's not important. I think if it happened, it's going to be a great thing. But it definitely doesn't need a homophobic man to go on TV and vent how he doesn't want to explain to his kids why there's two people of the same sex dancing. Like, I'm sorry that being gay, or not even being gay, like two men or two women dancing in a dance means you don't have to parent your kids. But well, anyway. But I want to make it clear. I'm not saying to me, I would be happy to see.
Are you not excited? Are you homophobic?
Yeah, massively homophobic.
But it's good to sort of watch the bits of the interview that you can find, because he's basically kind of just backtracks and starts saying, like, because Piers asks him like, why.
I'll play the interview here. Yeah. So here's some of the interview. We couldn't find the whole interview anywhere.
No.
But here is some of the bit that we could find.
What is it you're worried about? It's family viewing. You have had a busy week, you sit down with the family and you watch pure entertainment. The last thing you want to do is to be challenged or to be asked deep intellectual questions.
What's challenging about
challenging because if you have the family, young children with you.
What do you think the young children will be thinking?
Who knows? But the question is, they'll be asking...
Well, what do you think? Obviously, you fear they'll be thinking
they'll be
something
asking,
terrible.
why are the two men or two women dancing together?
Really? You think them children think like that?
Well, this is exactly what the BBC thought 2 years ago when it announced it wasn't going to do this, because they said it would ruin it as a family entertainment
What if
show.
those children are sitting down with two mums or two dads?
Well, that's a situation, obviously, I have no control over. But the vast majority of people will not be sitting in that situation. They'll be sitting with mum and dad. And mum and dad...
Or they might be sitting with just mum.
Are just mum or dad.
Or just dad.
Yes, but the
point
yes,
is
the
that
point
children live in all sorts of
yes,
situations,
they do.
Don't they?
They do, but they don't want to, they want to be entertained. They don't want to be challenged.
And gay people, male or female, they or even same-sex couples dancing, they haven't got to necessarily be gay. That somehow is not entertaining. That's offensive to you.
No, it's not the fact that it's not entertaining. It's the fact is that it's for the same reason that Blind Date went down the plug hole, that once it went to this radical change to have homosexual or lesbian couples on it, people switched off.
You think that's radical, do you, Jim?
I do before 9 o'clock watershed, I do. I think,
really? Well, what time would you allow gay people to be seen on television?
Piers, you're being semantic. What I would say to
No, not really. I'm actually just asking you straightforward questions. What time would you think that gay people could be seen on television without you feeling, oh...
They are actually, and I don't know if it's the same thing. Well, actually, I'll talk about that afterwards. But Piers Morgan's quite funny because he asks him if he's gay.
Yeah, but that's not in the clip that we've got.
Not in the clip that we've got.
Yeah.
Because...
Which I think is a really weird question to ask somebody.
What? Why?
Well, you just would never ask somebody that question.
I don't think you'd normally do that because you don't want to out someone. But I think that in this situation, it's kind of one of those questions where you just put them under the gun. Because he's doing it for a response, obviously, to see what kind of things he'll say. Because, you know, if you put someone under that kind of pressure, and then you just ask them, so are you gay? Then he might say something like, you know, there's a potential that he can come out with the wrong answer.
They did that in Legally Blonde.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? And the name of your boyfriend is Manuel.
Yeah.
Don't you tap those lasses and Prada shoes at me.
No, my goodness. Exactly. If you just do it fast enough, you know. Yeah. Then you'll just get them caught out because they can't think that quick enough.
Yeah.
But yeah.
He is funny enough, some of the comments I read oh god, I sound weird there. Some of the comments I read somewhere else had said that his main problem with having two men dance together would be that he had to hide his erection in front of his kids. I read that comment somewhere.
You did not read
I
that
read
comment.
that comment, yes.
I don't think he made that comment.
No, I read someone else's commentary was that this is the main reason he doesn't want to.
Well, the reason why Piers had asked that, he'd said, like, you know, in the past, some people would say that those that often fight against, you know, same-sex marriages.
Well, there's the guy
you know,
last week, one of the guys who was so pro conversion therapy. He came out as a massive gay.
Oh, really?
In America last week. It was in the news, yeah. But classic example, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, people that really push against, you know, like homosexuality or feminine guys and all those sorts of things that you know, really push against this because they actually have deep-rooted issues within themselves and actually might find men attractive in this instance, or, you know, actually are struggling with that internal battle, and I think that's probably why he'd asked them. But there was also a comment about the fact that he said that if they do have same-sex couples dancing, that should be after the watershed, that gay people or same-sex couples, and he said even on Coronation Street, for example, shouldn't be until after 9. And then Piers Morgan was like, well, what time should gay people be on TV? Which I thought was a great question. Yeah. And he thought he was being like facetious, and he said he was being semantic in a way. And I was like, well, that's a great question.
It's a brilliant question.
What time should it be acceptable to have?
Well, I don't think it's a good question in the sense of why we ask him. Like, I think it's a good question to ask him. To challenge his...
If you're saying after the watershed, well, what time is reasonable? Because then you're saying, why is that?
Yeah.
And I can't keep remembering...
Suzanne Reid.
Thank you. What is her name? Suzanne Reid even says, because he says, you know, it would be challenging for parents to have to explain to their kids. And he said kids will ask, why are those two men or women dancing? And then Piers was like, well, why would they ask that? If they've seen it already, then they wouldn't, because it's been known. And then she says, well, what about if those kids have, you know, two female parents or two male parents? Then would they ask that same thing? And then he says, well, those are situations that I can't control.
It's a very political answer.
And that's, you know, the majority of people, which is fair, it is a majority that, you know, but it's not the only set of, like, family values that we have. So, Jim Wells is... I thought it was quite interesting. As I was looking up Jim Wells, and it was saying like originally he was going to be like a health secretary in Northern Ireland.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to put him through because he often has like these gaffes where like he makes mistakes.
Gaff prone.
He's gaff prone, and I was like, well, that's really funny. But then he still got it in the end, and he just like basically just always just runs his mouth and says stupid shit.
But yeah, the guy. So yeah, he ended up getting it, but he was like only there for like a year, and then he retired at the same time because he went. This is back in 2014, 2015, where so the same guy supported the ban on gays not being able to give blood. He described the gay lobby as insatiable and that they don't know when enough is enough. And then this is one of the big things that caused such a big uproar, that he said that you don't bring a child up in a homosexual relationship. That child is more likely to be abused and neglected. Yeah, so not long after that, he then retired. He got a lot of pressure, was uproar from this, and a lot of complaints put in. And he then, not long after that, retired due to his wife's health. But the guy who instated him, we were talking before we recorded about Iris Robinson.
He said Irish.
Iris Robinson. Iris Robinson, who's another ex-DUP politician. Her husband was the head of the DUP, I think, Peter Robinson, I think he was, before the current one, Arlene Foster. And he's the one that instated her, but he's also massively homophobic. He's the one that we played a clip, which I'll play again.
Definitely.
There's been a lot of hyperbole talked about our position in relation to the gay community. Much of it is complete and utter nonsense, I have to say. We take a particular view in relation to the definition of marriage. That does not mean in any one way that we are homophobic.
Do you think, for example, that homosexuality is disgusting?
Absolutely.
Do you think that homosexuality should be loathed?
Absolutely.
Do you think it is right for people to have a physical disgust towards homosexuality?
Absolutely.
Does it make you nauseous?
Yes.
Do you think it's something that is shamefully wicked and vile?
Yes, of course it is.
Right.
It's an abomination.
That does not mean in any one way that we are homophobic.
I don't want to throw gays into prison. He does.
Well, I don't think he's wanting to throw anybody into prison. What
He
he's
wants to make
attempting
homosexuality illegal.
Well, I would hope that if it was illegal, that people would obey the law.
Much of it is complete and utter nonsense, I have to say.
Yeah. Basically, it's unnatural in the first instance, and it's abominable in the second instance.
That does not mean in any one way that we are homophobic.
Senior DUP figures have described homosexual activity as repulsive, and you say your party isn't against gay people. Senior DUP figures have described homosexual activity as an abomination, and you say your party isn't against gay people.
And we're not against gay people.
Much of it is complete and utter nonsense, I have to say.
But he's the one that says that he says that if homosexuality was made illegal, he thinks that people should obey the law. And that's a very political answer to...
Well, if there's a law, stick to the law. But he didn't say whether he's for or against it in that instance.
Yeah, so the whole party is just horrible party.
I see why you left.
Do you know what I mean? And then the big thing, which is you don't understand because I've tried to explain to you so many times, but over home.
Okay, thank you, stupid black person. Is that what you just said?
I did not say that.
That's what I heard.
No, I don't like labels. Over home, people don't vote based on policy. They vote based on religion. So the DUP is one of the main Protestant parties.
When did I say I don't understand that?
Well, you don't understand the whole Trouble thing.
No, I don't know it. Not I don't understand it. I don't know the information. That's different.
Okay. Well, yeah. So people vote. So the DUP have voted in not because they support what they stand for, because their policies are shit, but they vote them in because there's this ongoing battle between the North and the South of whatever it is, and people my age are voting in. One of the people I went to school with, who isn't homophobic, she votes in the DUP. And I said to her, why do you vote these people in? And she said, well, I have nobody else to vote for. But it's also down to a lack of education, because there's other parties out there in Northern Ireland that you can vote for. And I mean, the big thing is the Protestant unionism wants to stay as part of the United Kingdom. The Catholic republicanism wants to, and this is, I'm being very broad, like it's not as black and white as this. They want to have a united Ireland. So the fear is that if a Catholic majority takes over, there'll be a united Ireland.
A united Ireland would mean that they would become part of the Republic of Ireland, but not the rest
Great Britain. So
okay.
Great Britain would lose Northern Ireland. So that's, and there's a big thing there. And coming from Northern Ireland, I can understand both sides of it.
Do you have a preference or a belief in this instance?
In this instance, it's so hard because I battle with this. And it's weird because people are like, why do you get so hung up on it? It's like, it's part of my identity. And if you don't understand your identity or you're confused about your identity, it sort of holds you back from being who you are.
Mm-hmm.
So I love my Irish heritage, being Irish, but I also love my British heritage. So I don't know where where I should be on this.
Because I always thought, I didn't realise that, because you say Irish and then, but like, and there's a lot of people from Northern Ireland that say Irish. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, they're not the same. Right? Ireland is Republic of Ireland, that's Ireland, right? And then, like, you know, being Northern Irish is Northern Irish, which is also British. That's how I say it, just purely based on the current setup. But I'm not from there or anything like that.
It's sort of like somebody who's from Scotland say they're from Scotland. Somebody from Wales say they're from Wales. They don't say they're British, they say they're Scottish.
Yeah.
This is the whole point, is the war. Like, there's been a going war for nearly 100 years of the North versus the South. People have died. Like, terrorism has happened. Like, even last week, did I show you the video or did I?
No. But you said before, even on the podcast, that even recently, still things are happening.
Oh my God, it's horrific. And one of my friends over home, he constantly tells me I need to learn a non-English version of Irish history.
Yes.
Have I told you that?
You did say that. You started reading a book.
I started reading a book called The Green Flag. But yeah, so this is all happening, and the DUPs. Anyway, I can talk about this all day.
I find it really interesting, actually.
It is really interesting.
I need to read that book. Should I read that afterwards?
It's a massive book. You can read it.
You said
it's such small print.
Yeah.
It's going to take me a long time to read.
All right, that's good. I'll wait.
I think you can get it really cheap on Kindle, and then you can make it. You know, I just like a book.
Yeah.
I might buy it on Kindle as well, just because I can just read it like in the toilet every now and again. But yeah, so anyway, that's it. So watershed, DUP, watershed, gay people only after the watershed.
There was, the only instance I know of, like, one of these shows where there has been the same semblance of like a same-sex couple was, so Courtney Act, who's a drag queen, was on the Australian version of Dance with the Stars.
Yeah.
She came second, or she didn't win the final, but they thought she might. And I don't know if it's the same thing, because it's a man who's imitating a woman so it's a same-sex couple dancing, but I don't know if it's the same instance, because this man is dressed as a woman.
As a drag queen.
In drag, every time. So it wasn't like... So I think it's like a step in sort of that way, but it's not... I don't know. And Courtney Act, if you've ever seen, really looks like a woman. I got that in Dublin. That's my coffee mug.
Get a big Guinness coffee mug.
Yeah. I really liked it. I thought it was a nice size.
It's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
It's very rustic.
Yeah, I like it.
Your house. You should put some chips in it. It'd be nice if there's some chips.
Absolutely not. I don't want to cut my lips. No. It represents Ireland as it currently stands and divides in the middle. But no, I'd like to start watching Strictly Come Dancing, and I don't think it would make me watch it more or less if there were like same-sex couples. As long as they can dance, I think that's the most important thing for me.
Yeah.
And it seems like as things are going now, it seems like a logical step.
Yeah.
You know.
It's sort of, I think a lot of the problems, and people said, is usually men leading the dance and women follow, and it's going to break up gender norms, but, you know, who cares?
No, someone needs to lead, someone needs to follow. Just
as long as it's
do the parts.
A good dance. But then I don't know what makes a good dance. I just watch it for the music and the shiny dresses.
But it's like art in general, you know. You may not know everything about all the moves and the points, but you know what you like. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. And in terms of sort of Jim Wells, I think that it's we could keep going about it. We talk about different instances, but it still astounds me that we get... I was with some of my friends yesterday, and, you know, to be honest, I very rarely surround myself with, I guess, straight men at this point in my life. I don't know many. So it's always interesting how I'd say my views are, and their views and stuff. And it still interests me that say in this situation that sometimes in these situations it could be a working environment. You know, there's big companies that do they always have an inclusion and diversity team or initiative and strategy to include people, and there might be interview panels that will include someone of minority, whether it's ethnic or sexual, to be more diverse. And sometimes it's almost forced or pushed through. And I think for me, it's important to still, how you're it's no issue to you whether or not, it's neither a good or a bad thing. It's just a normal, it's a regular thing to have a same sex, which is that's the future. That's ideal, where it wouldn't be newsworthy if we had the situation. But my belief is that it's important to push these things forwards because you always get pulled back by instances like the fact that there's still people out there that believe that people don't deserve the same opportunities and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think in this situation, you could just had the show next year and then the same sex couple showed up instead of making an entire announcement a year beforehand.
Yeah, but I mean, it does. I mean, I'm going to totally contradict what I said earlier on as well here because
that lies within your normal.
Yeah, standard. But you know what? I change my mind often, and I'll do it all the time.
I mean, you don't change your mind often.
But what usually happens is when a sports person comes out, is why is it still making the news? You'll have this and I have to anytime I've seen it, it's always a gay person saying this isn't news anymore. People should just feel like this is normal. I totally get it. But at the same time, it makes total sense. Recently, a CrossFitter came out as gay. One of the best CrossFitters in the world came out as gay. And he, again, I've seen an article, it's why is this even news? Just move on. It's well, no, because this is massive. It's a role model for other people. And I totally get that. And I think what you're saying as well is the fact that it is so newsworthy is a good thing because there's still such a fight that we have to go on.
Yeah.
And I get that as well. So what I was saying earlier on was, to me, I don't care enough about this to have the argument against it. I just think it should be the norm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that being said,
but I'm against this person's response. For example, Jim Wells' response to the fact that is what I would feel strongly towards.
Oh yeah.
Not necessarily the idea that there's a same sex. I'd be like, oh, that's great news.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but yeah, of course. Ironically, he's the one that's putting the complaint in.
Oh yeah, we said now he's going to complain to. Well, he's already complained to the editor at Good Morning Britain for saying that his interview it wasn't an interview; it's been mishandled because Piers Morgan said that he's calling out his bigotry.
Yeah,
and said that he was obviously homophobic.
I read a lot of comments saying that they neither disagree or agree with whatever the sentiment was, but they just don't like Suzanne Reid and Piers Morgan's interview style. They ask questions but never let them finish the answer.
I mean, it depends because if the show or the interview is meant to be, this is your opportunity to speak, then fair enough. If they're meant to have their opinions, which I feel like they are in this instance, you would have seen the show before. Everyone's seen Piers Morgan interview people, and he is not trying to hide that. It's not an information piece. It's very much I have my opinion. I want to challenge you on that.
Yeah,
you know what show you're going on for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you're not going to go on if it's just okay, this is an opportunity for you to say your part, then that's fine, and there's no opinion based stuff. To be honest, which is fair. Then don't put yourself in the situation.
Yeah, you have to agree. You don't just magically show up and land on that seat. You have to agree to be there.
Yeah,
travel to the studio. Chances are you know about it because anytime Piers Morgan does something controversial, you know what you're signing up for.
But I would only agree with people that would be against that because I'm not a huge fan of interrupting people when I'm asking them questions.
What?
If I ask you a question, I should give you the opportunity to speak in general and say your part. If I'm asking a question,
I totally get that. Yeah.
Yeah. When people start saying no, but what you're saying is wrong, it's interrupting and then pushing there. Well, don't ask me a question. Just tell me what you think.
Yeah,
it's the same in these situations because it can be a little bit coercive in that instance. And this, now Jim Wells made himself look like a bigot, but they emphasise that for sure.
Well, historically, he is a bigot.
Yeah,
for all the stuff he says,
for sure.
But what I also I don't mind the way Piers Morgan conducts his show. I think it's what he's famous for. And Suzanne Reid, I think, is a bit more balanced, but even she was getting in on it, which to me is a good thing.
I don't think she's more balanced. I don't think she's balanced.
She interrupts. No, she interrupts a lot less.
Oh, okay, yeah. But yeah, she still has views.
Interview style. But she was still doing.
She clearly felt strongly about this. Though.
Yeah, which I think is a great thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I fair play. I thought it was good, but I liked watching Jim Wells squirm. He was clearly so uncomfortable, out of his depth, and it was pleasurable to watch. I think I wanked after it.
Oh my goodness, that's disgusting.
I didn't. I wanked during.
I think talking about like the show and stuff, some of the instances where, I don't like when people say like, "Oh, some things go too far." I guess in some instances, but in this, like, to only support. Say if I was watching the show next year and it was on, and I only like supported the couple because they were a same-sex couple, I think that's a bit where like, okay, we lose a little bit of like why. When we talk about equality and stuff, it's about having like the same opportunities. So, for example, a same-sex couple should have the opportunity to perform and grow on like Strictly Come Dancing, but they should win on their merit. When we talk about those sort of things.
Yeah.
And so I wouldn't necessarily just support them purely because they are both men or both women.
That was a lot of the comments on. We didn't talk about last week the Steelers winning the prize, did we?
No, we said it. We didn't talk about it.
A couple of comments on one of the news articles I read was, it's a sad day for rugby when a team is winning, because basically the Steelers won meal team of the year, didn't they?
Yeah. In the Guinness Rugby Awards.
Yeah,
and then we're on the BBC afterwards and stuff, so some people would have seen that interview.
Yeah, so it got quite big, which is great.
Yeah.
But I've seen a couple of comments where it was like, it's a sad day for rugby whenever this award's given because of sexuality and not on merits, and it's like, it's obviously a snap thing, because I'm not even saying this because I'm part of the club, but our club does so much for rugby. There's very few clubs out there that have an induction level for adults on how to play the sport, which to me is one of the best things about our club.
And one of the reasons we won as well is because the first team had an unbeaten season.
Yeah, and we play in a regular league, which is, to me, quite tough.
Yeah, I mean, we play in a league. We've been playing a league for a number of years.
Yeah.
But if we didn't have an unbeaten season, which is very difficult to do, and if our first team didn't do that, they wouldn't have won the awards.
Yeah.
But the team won because they were unbeaten. So I think it's important to remember that there's more than one aspect to it for those individuals.
Yeah.
It's not just based on the fact that actually we're supporting, And
I think it's bad for somebody to make a comment. They've clearly never came down to watch a game. They just made this passing comment, assuming that because it was an LGBT team, they were given special merit, which isn't the case, and we're saying it shouldn't be the case. We would have been I doubt the RF. Is it RFU or Guinness Awards? Who won the awards, or who?
I think it's sponsored by Guinness, but I don't know who the voting panel is, for example.
I highly doubt that they would risk the integrity of the award just to.
I mean, you never know. I don't know who picks the awards. Now, I think there might be an element where the team would be nominated because we are an inclusive rugby club, but that's also because we're promoting. I think it's an element of the story as a whole.
Yeah, and also if a rugby club, if the RFU or Guinness see inclusivity as one of the key things for rugby, then and we do it well, then we should also get points for that.
And we know in sports, I think like the RFU in general, for me, is one of the most inclusive sports. Rugby in general is there's a lot of initiatives that tackle homophobia all the time. And you've got like the rainbow laces and stuff, and all around the world. Obviously, with like Israel Folau and things like that, like people from all over rugby really support and openly stand for everybody's rights, and you don't get that in many other sports across the world.
No,
to be honest,
Nigel Owens is a gay referee, and he's one of the best referees, in my opinion, the best referee for rugby union. And when he gets any homophobic abuse, it's dealt with strictly and severely, and I think it's fair.
So I do think it's important that rugby continues to do that, but we also did win on merit, and because our first team are excelling in rugby, playing in every week, and an unbeaten season is not an easy thing to do, especially in the league that we're playing in. Because they got promoted 2 seasons before that. So to be promoted, then we had a challenging season, and then to have an unbeaten one is actually incredible.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
I encourage anyone who questions it to come in and watch a game.
Absolutely, the rugby is tough,
especially now the World Cup's starting.
Oh my god, I keep meaning to look at the schedule because I do want to book us some days off work, to watch some of the games. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we have a barbecue in a couple of weeks for the kickoff on the Sunday, the 22nd.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Early. We're having breakfast in the morning. Are you going for the Ireland game?
I'm gonna go for the first game. For sure.
Yeah. Cool. I said to McCabe, who's hosting, I said, Alice, he won't come here for the Ireland. He won't care enough about the Ireland game.
Are you joking?
I 100% said that.
Why would you think that?
Because you're too lazy. You don't care about the Ireland team. You clearly don't care about Ireland. It's taken me 45 episodes to be able to talk about it on the podcast.
I care about rugby though. I love watching rugby.
Anyway, so
you don't know me at all.
I have to get up super early. Dave and Trevor are away that weekend, and I have to watch the dog. So I have to take the dog on a massive walk in the morning because I want to get up in time for the rugby.
You should recommend that dog walker. End of story. You'll make it on time.
Fuck it. What have I got to do? Cool.
Exactly.
Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, I didn't at all.
No. Well, everyone, thank you very much for listening this week. Hope you enjoyed it, and have a great week, everyone.
Have a lovely week, Ashley.
Yeah, you too.
And have fun at work.
Oh, I'm still jobless.
Oh, babes.
All right, bye, everyone.
Bye.